I have been in the auction business exclusively for 43 years now. I started around 1980 with a auction firm in Philadelphia, and I spent a lot of time there. And while there, I was fortunate, as I've been the rest of my career, with having excellent U.S. stamp people around me. Back in those days in the 1980s, U.S. was it, as it still is today here. And other blue chippers were Germany and Great Britain and France. And when we got to China and Japan, to a lesser degree, just wasn't that sought after. Shaped my 43 years in the business, nothing has been more significant or amazing to me than the continued growth and expansion in the Asian market. For reasons that we discussed earlier, the early Chinese collectors were prior to China's emergence, were either U.S. To a very small degree or people from Taiwan and Hong Kong. As China emerged, their market obviously just took off, and it wasn't relegated to a certain age group. I mean, it was some of the oldest folks that I've known that are no longer with us, all the way down to young guys, and in some cases women as well. Beyond that, I also have a deep experience in Japan, having handled, just to name a few, the Varro Tyler collection, who was just one of the great experts anywhere of any era. I have a emotional attachment to Kelleher. I consider it probably more of a responsibility. I mean, you got to remember, this company has been run continuously since 1885. We want to keep the company, in a strong functioning position. You do this because you love it. You also do it because you can, some ways, manage your time a little bit. Although I always say that it never works out that way. I still wind up being here 6 and 7 days a week, quite often. But it's something. If you don't love it, you won't do it. It's not the kind of job you can report to and just go through the motions on. Can't be done. So I still enjoy it. I love getting up most days, and I have my notes and what I want to get done that day, and who I'm contacting, what collections we're going to be working on and breaking down. As you could see, we put through more bulk collections than anyone else maybe in the world at this point. I think if you look at most auction companies, you're going to find some of them that will just go through emails to self-promote themselves and rely on a legacy from the past. It took me this far in the interview to mention that Kelleher was in existence since 1885. But very rarely do these people talk about their expertise. And that is what David and I have assembled here at Kelleher. David is also a 40-plus year veteran in the stamp business, and he also had a difficult boot camp. He learned back in the old days from one of the tough old masters, Andy Levitt. We have a broad field. We have a lot of people that have been in the business over 40 years, and we have some good younger people that bring a fresh approach to it. And that's huge, because they kind of keep the other guys on their toes. And when you blend these two forces together, you actually have something that's not only contemporary, but you also maintain some of that tradition. And when I say auction business, I don't mean stamp business. I mean the auction business is a world unto its own. A lot of people wind up in the auction business, but they start out as retailers or show dealers or things of that nature. Auction business, you're kind of in a hot seat from day one, and you're expected to know a lot of different things. You could be at a show and a guy could come in with a classic China collection, but you also have to, next guy could come in with a coat of arms issues of Luxembourg, and you better be able to have some kind of conversation. Right. Us personally, U.S., Asia, Europe, South America is one of my pet areas, as well as the Middle East, we pretty much have it covered. And with the other resources and people we have, I honestly and sincerely believe we have the best staff to handle the most properties in the stamp business in America.